War. War never changes. Men do. Through the roads they walk. And this road has reached its end.
Hello, Couriers of the Divide. This is Caedo Genesis, and in this video I will be guiding you to the locations of all the unique equipment and the upgrades for Eddie in the Lonesome Road expansion for Fallout New Vegas. Locations will be given by progression of the main quest, and just like previous Fallout guides with the help of the wiki, I'll be showing you basic statistics of each item. Our treacherous journey begins in the Hopeville bunker. Following the only path available at the beginning will lead you to your old robotic pal Eddie, but this time he has a few upgrades, and the potential for 5 more. Use Eddie's new interfacing ability to open up the rest of the bunker, after which directly in your path is a ruined Eyebot and an upgrade for Eddie, giving him the first rank of the Camaraderie perk. Accessed through dialogue, Eddie can now repair your weapon for 25% condition once per day. Keep in mind that these abilities transfer to Eddie in the Mojave as well. Moving on and near the missile enclosure, you may stumble across an office in which you find the codes to leave the bunker. You will also find the body of General Martin Retzloff, and he is wearing the US Army General outfit. This is not practical for combat in the Divide, but at any rate will give you a speech bonus of 10 and a bonus to your gun skill by 5. If anything, your commanding presence will still be intact. Continue on, and once you leave the bunker, you will be just outside the Hopeville missile base. At the missile base headquarters, on the bottom floor in an office you will find the second upgrade for Eddie, giving the second rank of the Camaraderie perk, which lets Eddie manufacture microfusion and energy cells. Pertaining to the quest, your gruff adversary mentions a laser detonator as soon as you leave the Hopeville bunker, as this is necessary to progress. Your quest indicator will show you where it is at the marked men camp. This looks like a laser pistol but acts like a recharger weapon. In actuality, this won't do any direct damage to your enemies. However, this can be used to detonate any of the 30 still active nuclear warheads in the Divide, many of which will reveal a stash or open up a new path for you. If you take out the warhead at the entrance of the marked men camp and loop around to the next blocked off area, you will see yet another warhead. Detonate it, and from the rubble will emerge one of the 4 marked men leaders, who goes by the name Blister, a fitting name due to his weapon choice. Defeat him and you will gain the Marked Beast helmet, which gives a damage threshold of 3, an energy weapon resistance of 10, and an energy weapon skill bonus of 2. After this face-off, you are presented with yet another warhead to detonate. After that lovely display, pass through the tunnels and emerge at the entrance of High Road, where you are immediately challenged by Beast, another marked man leader. Along with a shoulder-mounted machine gun, he is equipped with the Marked Beast face helmet, similar to the former helmet, giving a damage threshold of 3, but differing in other bonuses, adding to your melee weapon skill by 3, and a critical chance increase of 2. The obvious landmark in front of you at this point would be the toppled skyscraper over High Road, and when you find your way up this crooked structure, you will be met with a deceased NCR Riot control officer, who is wearing the advanced Riot gear. Wearing this full set of medium armor will yield a damage threshold of 26. The body armor will give you an explosives bonus of 10, and +1 to your endurance, while the helmet raises your perception by 2, and will give you low light vision when you activate Sneak between 6 PM and 6 AM. From here, continue on High Road until just before you reach the Ashton Silo bunker. There's a good-sized marked man encampment nearby, and presiding over that area is Bonesaw, the 3rd marked man leader, wearing a much more familiar-looking helmet. To be specific, the Marked Beast tribal helmet. This beast helmet gives the highest damage threshold of 4, and while worn, gives you a +3 to your melee weapons and unarmed skills. From here, you can go northwest to the Ashton launch platform. If you look at the control panel and turn around, you will see shelves with a footlocker on them. From said footlocker, you can gain one of the 4 existing industrial hands. Not unique, but having great qualities, being the only Power Fist variant that completely ignores enemy damage threshold. It has a base damage of 50 and a critical damage of 40. This in turn will give multiple critical checks per second. One minor disadvantage is that cross and uppercut VATS moves were not designed for a weapon like this, so they may bug out. It is a small price to pay to basically punch your enemies with a chainsaw that does 5 times the critical damage of one. Gain access to the Ashton Silo by quote-unquote accidentally launching an ICBM. But before you enter, across the Divide, the missile will open up a path just outside the Hopeville bunker called the Courier's Mile. There is a unique Bowie knife by the name of Bloodnap stuck in a street lamp closest to the entrance. This is the first and only weapon to give a bonus of 10 to your sneak, a base damage of 30 and a critical damage of 45. Extremely deadly if one-handed blades are more your speed. Anyway, back to the Ashton missile silo. Take the explosive and eventful lift all the way down to see another silo that looks a little bit like the Hopeville one, but has suffered quite a bit more damage. Inside, look for the large locked metal door with a terminal terminal outside. Unlock it with a science skill of 75, and you will find a third circuit board for Eddie, giving him the third rank of camaraderie, which increases Eddie's damage threshold by 2. Pass through the bunker and the following slanted building interior to emerge in the second half of the divide. Detonate the next warhead in your way, and as a result, see a building in the distance collapse. Just past the warhead you destroyed, to your left will be the 3rd Street Municipal Building. Climb your way up and step into the municipal sewers. Just before the exit on the other side is the 4th wrecked Eyebot you find. Having all the upgrades up to this point, Eddie's weapon damage will be increased by 5. Keep heading towards the light at the end of the tunnel and step out to the upper floor of the 3rd Street Municipal Building. Here you find yet another Riot control unit that is no longer getting use out of their armor, which is the Elite Riot gear, and when worn with the helmet it will give a damage threshold of 28. The body armor increases your gun skill by 10, your charisma by 1, and a fantastic critical chance bonus of 5. The helmet will give you the perception bonus and sneak sight once again, but with a bonus of 5 to your speech as well. If you head north from this location, you will see the beginnings of a cave. Just before that point, look to your right, and you should see a warhead embedded in the rocks. Destroy it and a path opens to you to find the final destroyed Eyebot and the 5th rank for Eddie's perk, which will increase the targeting and VATS for both of you by 5%. Follow your objectives through yet another underground passage, and you will be in the final stretch to Ulysses' temple. There's one more unique weapon to grab before that. Down below where you entered, you should see a large broken pipe spewing water. Behind it is a dark and foreboding cave. Inside this cave is a boss creature by the name of Rawr. Find a way to defeat him, and you will get his talon. Once you have it, at the next workbench you find, you'll be able to create the Fist of Rawr, the Deathclaw Gauntlet of the Divide. This unarmed flesh ripper has a damage of 50 and a critical damage of 75, along with a critical multiplier of 2. This also will give you double damage to limbs. This puts a bit more emphasis on the idea of being flayed alive in the Divide. In this final area, you will also encounter the last of the Marked Men leaders. Blade, as he is named for the weapon he carries, will probably make his entrance by throwing grenades at you. Upon his defeat, you can get the Marked Beast Eyes helmet. It gives 3 damage threshold, a 3-point bonus to your melee weapon skill, and adds 10 to your maximum hit points. Before I move on to Ulysses' temple, this last part may have quite a few spoilers. If you haven't finished Lonesome Road before, I recommend that you pause the video so you can experience this part for yourselves. After you enter the temple, and once your little robot friend is in your party again, you should progress to a door that prompts you before entering. It may be a good idea to save beforehand, because your decision will greatly determine the items you gain. Take the path laid before you to finally come face to face with Ulysses. Whether you defeat him through words or weapon will only determine that you get his equipment twice. It's the final moments of this encounter, and the faction you've sided with, that determines what you gain. But we first start with Ulysses' equipment. The first part of his weathered getup is his mask, which gives a damage threshold of 3 and incredible radiation resistance of 50. The second and most iconic of his gear is Ulysses Duster, which has a damage threshold of 13, a critical chance bonus of 5%, and increases charisma by 1. Moving on to his weapon of choice is a maple staff capped with a golden eagle, called Old Glory. This two-hander has a base damage of 45, and a nearly double critical damage of 80, so don't let that brittle look fool you. As I had mentioned before, the faction you side with at the second Battle of Hoover Dam will determine the Duster you get at the end of Lonesome Road. All the variants have the same damage threshold of 13. You'll get Blackjack if you are neutral or lower with all the main factions, or join Yes Man. Old World Justice if your rep is with Mr. House in the Strip, Fighting Chance if you join the Legion, and the Great Bear with the New California Republic. The Duster you end up with will be in the reward footlocker when you show up back at the Canyon Wreckage. After defeating Ulysses, you're confronted on what to do with the missile launch. You can stop the launch, target the NCR, the Legion, or both. Launching a tactical strike at the NCR or the Legion will unlock new locations for you, at the cost of reputation, of course. The new locations are the Long 15 and Dry Wells. You can access Dry Wells from a boat in Cottonwood Cove, and you can get to the Long 15 from the gate at the back of the Mojave Outpost. I won't ruin these locations for you guys, but I will tell you of the 2 unique items you can get in each place. In Dry Wells, you can get the armor of the 87th Tribe and the Red Victory grenade rifle. When worn, the armor will give a damage threshold of 22, a critical chance bonus of 3, a point to charisma, and will add 10 to your action points. As for the Red Victory grenade rifle, the damage is the same as a standard variant. However, its AP cost, which is reduced to 29, is the lowest of any grenade rifle in the game. Worth picking up for that alone if not for your collection. As for the Long 15, you can get the Scorched Sierra power armor and the Great Bear grenade rifle. For this power armor, the training is required. It'll give you a damage threshold of 24, regenerate your hit points for 2 per second, has a fire resistance of 25, and will increase your strength by 1. For the Great Bear grenade rifle, it is heavier than the Red Victory, but has less weapon spread and the highest impact damage at 15, don't forget the explosive of 100, of any other grenade rifle. For these 4 unique items, I would say choose wisely, but if you're a completionist, you're gonna have to nuke both. And that is all of the armor, weapons, and Eddie's upgrades in Lonesome Road. So what was your Lonesome Road like? Tell me in the comments, I'd love to hear about it. And if you wish to point out something I missed, first make sure it's not in the guide, help out your fellow couriers and myself by stating what it is and where to find it in the comments. If you want more detailed guides just like this one, especially for Fallout, hit that red rectangular button down below. As always, thank you so much for watching. This is Caedo Genesis, and I'll have Ulysses take us out.
The courier walked until he stood again upon the edge of the divide, the last road he would walk before the second battle for Hoover Dam.